Arriving from Xining at 6 in the morning, the car is running over the wide, endless grasslands and yellow fields, climbing the winding mountain slopes, passing through the Yellow River occasionally, up and down the mountain and valley. The natural beauty has completely captured our eyes. We can barely feel the 14-hour drive or our tiredness. Finally, we arrive at the Longja Monastery of the traditional Tibetan Buddhist school, Jonang, located in Genda, Golok, on the Qinghai Tibetan plateau of Qinghai province. If there is such a place as pure land on this planet, it is found right here. In July on the plateau, the grass is green and tender. The mountains stand tall, elegantly in emerald, surrounding the valley like a mother embracing the land gently with her arms. The streams flow by gracefully in the valley, crossing one another and running their own way. Colorful wild flowers cover the slopes, while the sky seems always crystal blue with white floating clouds. People walking or wandering around the land look so peaceful, as if nothing here has anything to do with the outside world. The animals seem to sense something important is going to happen. They follow people around with curiosity. Longja Monastery is conducting a 5-day Pushan Bodhisattva chanting ceremony. The local nomads that came from Genda Township to attend the ceremony have set up their tents along the streams. In the morning and evening, smoke rises from each tent, making this valley a sweet and charming home.
Hey,
Hey,
can I come in?
좋아, 좋아.
There is fire burned from cow dung, the only fuel source on the plateau. Inside the tent, there are teapots on the stove, boiling the hot milk and butter tea with white steaming smoke. The woman is slowly blending in a bowl barley powder with milk and butter tea to make their typical plateau meal called zanba. July 22nd is the first day of the Pushan chanting ceremony. Hundreds of monks have gathered together in front of a big tent. Student monks blow shells, raise the sacred umbrella, and burn incense to welcome the Dharma King, Awan Banma Nanja, to host the ceremony. All the Rinpoches and Tukus in the monastery are sitting in the front. Together they will open the ceremony. Tibetan nomads dressed in their best wardrobes sit outside the tent ready to receive a spiritual shower. The sacred hymn on the plateau begins. Inside the tent, there are two big drums and a big shining gong hanging above the chorus of crimson red. When the speed of the drum beats reaches a crescendo, the gong strikes loudly, as if breaking through the clouds to reach heaven. Then all the monks shake little drums and bells. The chanting and instruments together seem to carry a very strong message. One can only open one's heart to allow this music to flow in and out freely and let one's soul be stricken. In the afternoon of the first day, there is a crowd of sheep gathered in front of the tent, running in a circle with good speed and order, as if expressing their gratitude toward the monks. The monks came to pray for them to live a long life and be free. The sheep run happily toward the grassland to their new life. They are now released sheep. The mark on their ear means they cannot be killed by humans on the plateau from now on. This is the law on the plateau. Whoever lives there shall obey. The meaning of releasing life is that all life is equally valuable. All sentient beings have the same mind to be happy and free from suffering. The only difference is to be able to speak or not. July 25th is the day for the releasing of yaks. It is another sunny day with white clouds floating on the blue sky. Around noontime, there is a herd of yaks moving slowly toward the tent. People start to walk toward the herd, smiling upon their good fortune. For thousands of years, yaks have been found only in altitudes from 10,500 to 18,000 feet. They rely on the vegetation and lichen that grow on the plateau. They can tolerate temperatures of -40 degrees. The yak was probably domesticated in Tibet during the first millennium BC. female yak provides milk for 5 months after giving birth. The milk can be made into butter, yogurt, and cheese, which are the main protein sources for the Tibetans here. The yak's hair is thick and soft. The traditional nomad's tent is made from woven yak hair. These black tents absorb heat from the sun, so not only are they warm, they are wind, ice, and snowproof as well. Male yaks are much taller and stronger. They are mainly used for transporting goods and often travel 10 to 20 miles per day with loads of 130 pounds. This gives them the reputation ships of the plateau. Yak dung is the only fuel source here. After drying, it is burned for cooking and heat. In effect, the yak provides the basic living needs for these people. The ceremony for releasing the yaks is simple and noble. First, they make a mark on one ear and tie a silky white fabric, called kata, on their horns to wish them longevity and luck. There are a lot of poor families here. Those yaks we released today are mother and baby. The mother yak can provide milk, butter, and cheese for the poor families. The number of yaks released is about 240. After the prayer of Tashi Rinpoche and the monks, the supervisor monk of this project announces the names of the poor to receive yaks. The families were selected after careful investigation by the monks in Gende area. They have to sign a contract with the monastery to swear they will raise the yaks till their natural death without killing them for meat or selling them. With a smile on their faces, the poor families hold their yaks and walk their way back home. Tashi Johnson Rinpoche said, the total number of yaks and sheep released is around 800. The animals were either purchased from the slaughterhouse or from local herders. In the ceremony, Khenpo Tsensen Daji also gave a lecture to the local herders, instructing them not to sell the animal to the slaughterhouse and to carry out the basic Buddhist practice of compassion to all sentient beings. This is the Tibetan village in the desert of South Gomu City. Starting from June 2006, around 5,000 Tibetan families emigrated here from the grasslands on Qinghai Tibetan Plateau near the origination of the Yangtze River and the Yellow River. The cause was an environmental protection project initiated by the local government. These nomad shepherds had to sell their yaks and sheep and move from their grassland home. Here, they are now in the middle of the stark, dry desert where they must start a new life. The emigration plan is being conducted by the local government with supervision. The government has been working hard to help the Tibetan people settle. From grassland to desert, from tents to brick houses, from being a herder to finding jobs in the nearby city and learning the Chinese national dialect, the whole situation has been devastating. These new immigrants feel very lost in their new home. Tashi Johnson Rinpoche was invited by the local government in July 2006 to visit the new Tibetan village in the desert. Gomo is also in the Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture. It is now an important city in the West. Due to government policy and environmental awareness, a lot of Tibetans are relocating here. Tibetan culture is identical to its Buddhist religion. They dedicate their whole lives to the practice of their own beliefs. There are around 5,000 immigrants in the new village so far. There is no Buddhist temple or monk in the entire Gomo city to serve their spiritual needs. When death or sickness occurs, there is no place to go for consolation, and they feel deeply sad to be buried in the desert. Tashi Johnson Rinpoche suggested the local government build a Buddhist temple for the community to serve their spiritual needs. The government agreed to give 5 acres of land to build the temple, on the condition that the community build it themselves. With great compassion, Tashi Rinpoche promised he would find the money to make it possible. By April 2007, construction on the Tibetan Buddhist temple and museum had begun. The building is designed by Yang Architecture, which is located in Shanghai. The temple's construction site measured 3,400 square feet. Tashi Rinpoche continues to raise the necessary construction funds, estimated at $650,000. The hope is that the temple and museum will be completed in 2008. The essence of Buddhism is to see the true nature of life and to live wisely with compassion for all sentient beings. It is his wish that the first Buddhist temple in Gomo City will bring a sense of peace to the Tibetan community there and help promote harmony with the city's other ethnic groups.
Chữ 开了街，3月1正。